Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Yo, what
We're
is
back.
up? Like it or not, we are back, everybody. Welcome to Kiss Meets the Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Eli Clausen.
And I am the incomparable COVID man.
yes, yes, an unplanned extra long vacation there that we had. As they say, life gets in the way. We originally skipped the show the previous week because I had left on vacation, and then basically that same day, I guess, is when Luke announced that he and Savannah had caught COVID. Definitely not fun times in the Kiss Meets the Podcast camp. So,
Right. Yeah, that's for sure.
but thankfully they're both much better, uh, gotten over the thing. And then, of course, we took that extra week off last week because Luke was still under the weather and wasn't quite up to it yet. So, but here we are. Glad to be back. We do apologize. It's unplanned. Like, life happens. You never can tell. So, good to be back, though. It feels like forever. What's up, David? Thank you.
Much
Good to see you.
appreciated.
Yes. All right. So, man, I feel like we got a lot to catch up on. Um, So of course, again with Luke being down and everything, he wasn't able to upload the recent polls for the contest, whatever it is, greatest Kiss song of all time. So if you have visited our Facebook page today, you'll see that there are some back on there. We're trying to get back in the swing of it, get caught up a little bit, not bombard you with too many at once, but I believe there is a little bit extra than what is normally posted. So be sure to check those out. Geez. So this past Sunday, the 17th, was scheduled to be the Kiss show here in Dayton at the Nutter Center. Decided last minute that I was going to go ahead and snatch up some tickets. Found a good deal, and decided, yeah, why not? I want to go. I'll see him as many times as possible. And then, unfortunately, we got the news of Fran Stuber passing away. Paul's longtime friend and guitar tech, over 20 years. Plus the whole band and crew in general. Friends and basically like a family with all those guys. And a lot for those that don't know, Fran was the guy that did the "You Wanted the Best" opening in all the Kiss concerts for years. Um, Loved his delivery. He's definitely gonna be hard to replace doing that stuff. And so yeah, we got that unfortunate news, and therefore Kiss ended up excuse me, postponing the show again this time due to that. So they are planning on rescheduling it again. As of right now, no news has broken on a new date yet because I know with their schedule it's just nuts right now. So it's hard telling when they're going to squeeze this thing in if they do. But I don't know. Hoping it still happens. But we definitely send our condolences and well wishes to Fran's family and the whole Kiss crew, all those everybody that knew him, and he's definitely gonna be missed. It sucked to hear that. So I'm kind of getting antsy already because I could just imagine how much more that place is gonna blow up once this concert does finally happen.
Right.
Especially now the second time postponed, and you know it's just building up that anticipation even more, and you know, I'm just already imagining like that place is just going to go nuts now when that show does finally happen and that curtain drops. But hopefully everybody realized why the show was canceled. Of course, there was a lot of heartless people online making comments and whining about themselves, trying to make it all about them, about how far they drove or anything. And it's like it's not about you. It's not about that. It's it was a last minute cancellation because it was a last minute cancellation because of the news, and they probably just decided last minute that that was the best option. I mean, hell, there was a semi that was already in the process of unloading stage gear at the Nutter Center. So it tells you that it was literally a last minute cancellation. Someone had posted a picture they took, and one of the semis was already like halfway unloaded. So, crazy stuff. But again, looking forward to the reschedule. I know. Well, actually, we're a week away from the cruise now. As of today, next Friday, the 29th, is the cruise. So that's what I mean. They got that coming up, and then when they come back, I believe they're supposed to do one Florida date, and then they're supposed to be heading overseas. So again, I have no clue how or when they're going to squeeze this thing in. It may not be till next year now. Who knows? But fingers crossed that it does still happen. If not, hey, no problem. Just get a refund. Maybe try to catch a different show, or already had plans to possibly try to go to Vegas anyway, just as like a bonus. So, see what's up. But crazy stuff going on, and it was definitely unfortunate to hear about Fran. So, hey Javier, what's up, man? Good to see you too. And I believe that's about all that there was to catch up on at this point, as far as everything that's happened. We got a new sample clip from the upcoming Destroyer box set today. It was a little clip of the Detroit Rock City Paul Stanley demo. Cool to hear that. Again, better quality from what I could tell than what had been floating out there for all these years on the bootleg scene. So very excited still to get that. Cannot wait. Yeah, I think that's it. So I know, like I say, we got stuff to catch up on ourselves with the polls that just got posted. We also, of course, have the results from weeks ago and some other things. So let's get into that, and then we'll get into the main topic here. It's going to be some fun, and we want to hear from you guys in the chat as well once we get into it.
Yes, definitely. So we do have 1 week of results to talk about. Looks like I've got too many pulled up here. Yep, that's what we need. Just kind of a quick PSA. Most of you guys know this by now, but just in case you happen to be first-time viewer, if you're on Facebook, go over to there and search Kiss Meets the Podcast. Give our page a like or a follow or whatever Facebook's doing nowadays. You can also search Kiss Meets the Podcast group. We have a private group you have to request access to join, but we approve everybody, so don't let that stop you. Definitely get in there. In that group, we post a whole lot of things, Kiss news that we hear. We talk about what we're going to do on the show coming up, and also we post huge polls, tournaments. Right now, we're looking for the best Kiss song of all time out of everything that you could imagine. 400, a little over 400 songs in total. Studio songs, live tracks, remixes, everything's in there. So we are right in the middle of the first round. Actually, no, that's a lie. We're not even to the middle of the first round yet. So we're still kind of technically in the beginning of the first round. So you haven't missed much. Get in there. We want as many votes as possible on these songs. We have 6 matches we can talk about results-wise. The first one is Torpedo Girl from Unmasked versus Mainline from Hotter Than Hell. Mainline take that with 70%.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty big win there. Ooh, nice, Javier. Many ties after he voted today. That's good. Be interesting to see how those go. We also had Move On from Paul's solo album versus Love Gun, the studio version from Love Gun. Naturally, Love Gun takes that 86%.
Wow.
So another pretty big win there. The big weird one for that particular week was Do You Love Me, the re-recording from Sonic Boom Disc 2, versus Hold Me, Touch Me, Think of Me When We're Apart from Paul's solo album. This one was actually really close. Somehow, Hold Me, Touch Me takes that with 56%.
Wow, that's kind of shocking.
That is not a song I expected to reach the second round.
I guess it does show that people are paying attention, that it's not the original Do You Love Me and all that. So wow.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that though. I like seeing those kind of results happen. It makes it interesting and very fun for the next round.
For sure, yeah. Yeah, this is why we don't just do this privately between the two of us. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
got to have those opposing opinions. We also have Stand from Sonic Boom versus Firehouse from Double Platinum. Firehouse takes that with 77%. We had Calling Dr. Love from Rock and Roll Over versus 100,000 Years from the Millennium Concert. Dr. Love takes it with 85%.
Nice.
And finally, we had Hotter Than Hell from Alive versus I Want You from Rock and Roll Over. And I Want You took that with 74%.
Very cool.
Yeah. So we've got 12 brand new matches just posted today. Like Eli said, we are kind of trying to catch up. Since I was a little bit too sick to come to the studio here and post polls for 2 weeks in a row. We're going to have 12 this week and 12 next week, and that'll get us caught back up to where we would have been if I had been able to post everything at once. Then we'll be going back to 6 matches a week. So definitely get over there. There are a ton of polls to vote on right now. We're just going to run through them real quick. We have Strutter from Smashes, Thrashes, and Hits versus Lick It Up from Sonic Boom Disc 2. Unholy from Revenge versus Come On and Love Me from Alive. Save Your Love from Dynasty versus Rock Bottom from MTV Unplugged. Yeah. Take Me Down Below from Monster versus Under the Gun from Animalize. Hard Luck Woman from Rock and Roll Over versus Hotter Than Hell from Hotter Than Hell.
Wow.
Yeah, big one. You're All That I Want from Unmasked versus Bang Bang You from Crazy Nights. Dark Light from The Elder versus You Wanted the Best from Psycho Circus. Got to Choose from Hotter Than Hell versus It's My Life from Psycho Circus. So we even got some fancy demos in there.
Very cool.
The Devil Is Me from Monster versus A World Without Heroes from MTV Unplugged. Ozone from Ace's solo album versus Lick It Up from Alive 3. Last Chance from Monster versus Kiss the Girl Goodbye from Peter's solo album. And finally, Yes I Know Nobody's Perfect from Sonic Boom versus Who Wants to Be Lonely from Asylum.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I randomly put on Unplugged again the other night, listened to the whole thing, and then I guess I was this bored, but I put on Smash with Thrashes and Hits for some reason.
Wow.
And listened to that whole thing.
Wow.
Don't know why, but it was just more like background noise. I was doing stuff on the computer, so.
Yep, I've done that. We listened to that in the car on the way somewhere not that long ago. I think that's just happens to be one of the only physical CDs Savannah has of Kiss, and so she had her book of CDs, and there it was.
Yeah. Nope. Kind of fun to revisit that.
There I am.
Yes. Yeah, so if you haven't already, please make sure you go over and vote on all those. I know I still need to get my votes put in. But I like that there's already some ties going on thanks to Javier. So
yes,
it's going to make it real. There's a lot of interesting matches. I know we say that every week, but man, definitely a lot of good ones in this batch right here. So it's gonna melt your brain. We're putting you back to work. It's been 2 weeks. So.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Does that cover all the bases then?
Yep, I think so.
All right. So this week's idea for the show, this was actually a topic that was pitched to us from one of the listeners. Unfortunately, I didn't mark down who it was, but we decided, hey, let's do one of these show topics and change things up a little bit this week. Get away from the reviews and stuff there for a little while, and we're gonna go with one of these show topics. I don't think I have your audio. Uh-oh.
Still nothing. Oh, okay. That's it.
Sorry about that, guys. Bear with us. So anyway, what we're doing this week? We're going through all just the studio albums. No lives, no compilations, but we are including the solo albums because those do count. So what we're doing is we're each picking a song that we feel should have been a single, if not even maybe the lead single off of each album. So we want to know what you guys would pick too in the chat. We definitely want you to chime in. How many of these are we? Maybe we're going to say the same song. How many of them we're going to have difference of opinion? It's going to be interesting. And some of these albums don't leave us with a whole lot of choices based on how many singles they had. So
right? Yeah.
They jump all over the spectrum here. All right. Javier, thank you for suggesting this. I was thinking it was you or Carolina, so glad you were here to take part of this. Ronnie Parker, what's up, Space Ace Ron? Met Sebastian Bach last week after the show. Got an 8x10 signed. 1990. Wow,
Nice.
that's super cool, man. I bet that was a blast. That's really cool. You have to, if you're on the Facebook page, you have to upload some photos of the stuff you got signed on our page. We'd love to see that, man.
For sure.
All right, so let's get started here. And so, of course, with the first album, Kiss, self-titled. So the singles that we did have off of that album were We Had Nothing to Lose, Kissin' Time, and Strutter. So, Luke, what would be your pick for a single that should have been on this album, if not a lead single?
Yes, absolutely. In this case, I feel like this could have been the lead single. I think it's kind of a crime that they did not pick Deuce.
Well, there you go. We match already.
Yeah. Yeah, insane. Looking at some of these, what the singles were and seeing which ones they skipped. We also did have Aaron Philpott over on Facebook gave us his list, and he suggested the other fairly obvious one, which is Black Diamond.
Yes, yeah. I almost jumped on Black Diamond, but then I thought, nah, Deuce is too, to me, iconic. I mean,
yeah,
it's kind of the song that got the band going, if you think about it, because you always hear that story, especially from Ace, where that rehearsal or tryout was kind of like the first song that they all played together. And it's just kind of like I said, that's kind of what started the band. And that song, starting so many shows, and it just seems like it would have been, like you said, the first Kiss single, period. And I think it would have went over well on radio.
Yeah. Yep. And that's the big thing that made it kind of difficult about all this, because it's pick your favorite song that wasn't a single is a totally different challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Picking a song that should have been a single is a lot about what represents the band the most and what represents the sound of the album. And so it's not just pick a song that you like that wasn't already a single. What do you think could have represented the band well on the radio, and then had somebody go out and buy the album because they heard that song? And
exactly.
Keeping that in mind, it's actually baffling seeing some of the songs that are, there are songs I may have picked because I like, but then when you see, like, wait a minute, that one wasn't a single, and this was one of those cases. Wait a minute, Deuce wasn't a single?
Yeah. And something like Kissin' Time was. I mean, that just tells you the marketing idea that they had at the time, with the band being so young and not sure of the direction, and because they were doing all those kissing contests, and they had those pins and stuff that were the big lips, and it was like they were being more literal with it, and instead of what it became, thank God.
Yeah, for sure.
Javier also picks Deuce, Black Diamond
Nice.
as the B-side. There you go. That's a nice way to squeeze it in.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. Please note too, where some of these songs we may pick, they may have technically been a B-side, but we're not counting that. We're just counting the main A-side single, so please don't argue or yell at us if we say something that was technically a B-side in the past. We're sensitive.
Yeah.
All right, so Hotter Than Hell. We only had one single off of this, believe it or not, and that is Let Me Go Rock and Roll. So what do you pick for this one?
Yeah, freaking insane. This one was a little bit harder. Even though we had most of the songs to pick from, I think you could make a good argument for a lot of the songs on here.
Yeah.
For me, I did Parasite. I feel like that's a
Nice.
good, heavy, Ace written song. Represents Gene and Paul both pretty well. It's an interesting song, something you get stuck in your head. So, Parasite.
Very good. Yeah, that would definitely work. I ended up going with Mainline. I was thinking,
Nice.
because thinking around that time frame, it was the AM stations that you were hearing, the rock and stuff on back in those days, and I Mainline just sounds like one of them songs that would have sounded cool, over the radio station, and cruising along in your car with the windows down in the summer, and I mean, it still is if you do it yourself, but just imagine, back in the 70s and this song comes on the radio, it just has that cool feel, and especially that little solo section to it, it's got a cool hook. So yeah, I mean, like you said, nine other songs to choose from, and there's so many good options, but yeah, that's the one I rolled with for this one.
Nice. Aaron Philpott went with Going Blind on that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait to see what Javier and these guys say for this one. We'll go ahead and move on here for the time being. All right, Dress to Kill. We have Rock and Roll All Night and Come On and Love Me. Two very good singles.
For sure.
Javier went with Strange Ways. Good, very good choice there.
Yes.
For the heavy. And what did you go with for Dress to Kill?
I went with Love Her All I Can. This
Same.
one was, oh, nice. Yeah, this one was a little bit more difficult to choose. I definitely feel like they went with the right ones on this album. And then, again, you got a lot of really good choices, stuff like Rock Bottom, She. I almost picked She. It came really close because it feels like it does a similar thing to Parasite. And also, again, it's catchy. It's something that if you heard it on the radio with a bunch of other songs, you're going to remember. But I went with Love Her All I Can because it's a little bit more upbeat and exciting, and it still retains that catchiness.
Absolutely. Yeah, I originally, when I was going to this album, because I forgot other than Rock Roll All Night, I was immediately in my head thinking, Come On and Love Me, bam. And then I forgot that it was a single already.
Yeah.
So yeah, Love Her All I Can. I mean, come on. It's such an infectious hook and groove to that song. And yeah. And, again, the solo thing, it just sounds like it was made to be on the radio. And it's a shame that it wasn't, or, just, pressed on a 45 single, playing on people's jukeboxes and turntables back in the day and all that. Just kind of a shame, and it's just to throw it in there, it's still a shame that it didn't even make a live on top of that. It really should have.
It should have. Yep.
Javier did go with She there for Dress to Kill.
Very nice. Aaron went with Ladies in Waiting.
Wow, that's a very nice obscure one.
Yeah.
So, Destroyer, we have the entire album. No. Shout It Out Loud, God of Thunder, Flaming Youth, Detroit Rock City, and Beth. So this literally only leaves us with, I believe, like 3 songs to choose as a single. So good chances we might match on this one, but who knows? What did you go with?
Right. This was one of the ones where I couldn't pick my favorite because I just can't freaking believe Do You Love Me was not a single.
Yeah, that is true.
I honestly and I love Flaming Youth. Flaming Youth is one of my favorite songs, but I was very surprised to see that as a single in place of Do You Love Me.
Right. Yeah, because they barely even played Flaming Youth, let alone, I don't know if it ever got radio airplay or anything, or how many singles it sold or anything.
Right.
Do You Love Me? Yeah, definitely more of a staple. And again, I just picture these songs blasting over the radio waves, man, and that intro,
Yeah.
I ended up going with King of the Nighttime World. I figured, hey, that why not? Detroit Rock City's a single, so they might as well have made that one a single too. Just loving that solo section and everything. I think would have it would have made for a great single, and definitely showcased the different sound that they had on this album compared to the last albums before. The different direction they were starting to go. So, King of the Nighttime for me. David Smith went with Let Me Know for the first album there, obviously. Yeah, keep giving them to us, man. Catch up.
Definitely. Aaron went with Great Expectations.
Ooh. I was this close to picking Sweet Pain because as much as I like that one too, I was just like, you know what? I think King would have definitely had the better feel and ring to it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. See, I was getting ready to put King of the Nighttime World until I spotted Do You Love Me, and I was like, wait, was that on the list of singles? And I scrolled back and went, what? No.
Javier, Do You Love Me? Yep. There you go. All right, now we go into Rock and Roll Over, and the singles off of that were Hard Luck Woman and Calling Dr. Love. Again, just another one that's full of them.
Yeah, very hard to choose. In this case, I went with Take Me.
Ooh.
Again, it's sort of similar to Love Her All I Can. I just feel like it's upbeat, it's nice, it's catchy, it's very indicative of the rest of the album. So went with that.
I went with Making Love.
Nice.
I mean, that I feel like that would have just fit in so well with a lot of that other stuff that was on the radio at that time, that heaviness to it, and it would have just fit right in. Plus it would have been cool to hear because I've noticed on some of the single edits, sometimes we get like a little bit longer ending, outro or different things like that. So it would have been interesting if they would have done something like that with Making Love, especially the way it ends on the album. Maybe they could have extended it a bit and we could have got more of that. I think it would have been cool to hear. Javier with Mr. Speed, that's another fantastic choice, man. Very good choice. There you are. All right. Yeah, fantastic choice. He scratches Mr. Speed and goes with I Want You.
Yeah.
Again, another great choice. There's so many great choices on this album. I wanted to go Ladies Room, but Making Love, I think it would have just rocked as a single, and especially over the radio.
Indeed. And Aaron did pick Ladies Room, so
very cool.
Get a little bit of representation there.
Very, very cool. All right, moving into Love Gun. We have Christine 16 and Love Gun as the only singles.
Like banging your head against a brick wall. Again, what were they thinking? Christine 16 is the lead single? Man, yeah. I like that song, but I can't believe... I'm glad they did Love Gun as a single. I can't believe it wasn't the lead. Why not Shock Me? I picked I Stole Your Love because I think it's just hands down one of the best songs on the album, one of the best openers in the early days. And again, catchy. It's catchy. And it represents Kiss just freaking perfectly. But I still can't help but be like, what? Why not Shock Me?
Yeah. David Smith with Getaway from Dress to Kill. We need your Hotter Than Hell pick too, bud. Javier, I Stole Your Love. I also went with I Stole Your Love. I mean, like I've said before, to me, that song is just kind of the theme song to Kiss of the 70s. I mean, especially that time frame when they were just exploded at their height. And to me, I hear that song and it's just like the quintessential representation of the band at that time. And the visual of them opening the shows with that song and everything else about it, it's just got that perfect sound to it. I feel like you could have even heard this in some of the dance clubs at the time. It's got enough of that where I'm sure people could have, got groovy with it. So.
Yeah. Yep. Aaron went with "Got Love for Sale."
Wow. Aaron going with the deep picks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So now we go into the solo albums here. First, Gene Simmons. And the only single off of this one was Radioactive, which would have been my pick had it not been.
Yep. I went with "See You Tonight" this time. I think it would have been a good second single. I definitely think Radioactive was the right choice for the lead. But "See You Tonight" represents the other side of this album. Very clear two different things. You got the rock side and the Beatlesy side. And I think "See You Tonight" is the best of the Beatlesy stuff to also give people a little bit of like, oh, you're going to get some different stuff with this too.
Mm-hmm. I also went with "See You Tonight." Always been a big fan of this song, and again, thinking of the AM radio stuff back then. A lot of the ballady stuff was the big stuff at that time. Believe it or not, you go back and look at number one songs at the time, and hell, we found out on the one trivia thing about what was it? "You Light Up My Life" was like the best selling song of the 70s or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
That right there, those kind of songs were just dominating the charts back then. So I feel like "See You Tonight" could have been right up there, competing, along the lines of that kind of stuff. Beth basically did. I mean, look at the success it got over that. Same type of deal. But yeah, I feel like "See You Tonight" would have definitely gotten Gene even more mainstream attention, and possibly, who knows, Grammys for the songs. I mean, great song, great vocals, everything up to it. So Javier went with "Tunnel of Love."
Very nice. And Aaron actually skipped the solo albums.
Okay. Understandable. I could see where some people might not be sure if we were going to do them or not.
Yep.
Okay, so next is Ace Frehley's, and his only single was "New York Groove."
Definitely would not have been my choice for a single at all. I think that's unsurprising. I had a really tough time, though, honestly. I feel like there's two really clearly obvious ones, and eventually I ended up going with "Rip It Out."
Yeah, that was definitely right on the tip of my fingers to
Absolutely.
type.
yeah, it was going to be that one or "Speeding Back to My Baby." I feel like both of those encompass the album really well. They're both really catchy and upbeat and cool, but "Rip It Out" a little bit more.
Yeah, I see the marketing idea that they went with "New York Groove" because, again, the time, and it got played in the clubs, everybody dancing to it, and it did do well for Ace, for that matter. But I ended up going with "Snowblind." Just that infectious riff and everything about it, I think would have just been another great one of those good 70s rock anthems almost. It could almost, like, down the road had been on one of those compilations that you see with all those great anthems that rock like that, and I think that's one of them that they kind of missed out on. Javier went with "Rip It Out" as well.
Nice.
All right, and then Peter Criss, which is the only one out of the four solo albums that had more than one single. We had "Don't You Let Me Down" and "You Matter to Me."
Wow. Definitely neither of the ones I expect. Honestly, I expected to see "Tossin' and Turnin'."
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Get David Smith's on there. Now I know it's become an in joke, but I had to go. I had to go with "That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes." I do really, honestly enjoy that song. So,
Yeah,
and it came down to that one or "Hooked on Rock and Roll." I feel like either one of them would have been good, but I think "That's the Kind of Sugar Papa Likes" is just such a bouncy, fun song that it would have caught on the radio.
absolutely. Um, yeah, I agree. You would think "Tossing and Turning," especially being that that's the song they chose to perform.
Right.
I ended up going with "Easy Thing," and again, when I talk about that whole AM, you know, rock and ballad thing, this is like the quintessential um, representation that that I think of as a song like this. I think would have done wonders playing on the AM stations back then, and it probably could have performed well in the charts. It could have been a second, um, you know, form of success for Peter, in the solo type manner, just like with Beth. Um, and it's such a cool, laid back, you know, pretty song. It's sang very well and all that. So um, I feel like that would have been just a quintessential AM rock station song. Javier, I Can't Stop the Rain. That's a good one. I was real close to picking that one. Very good.
Nice.
David, we still need one from Hotter Than Hell for you, man. If you could squeeze that in,
Indeed.
please. All right, Paul Stanley. The only single from that one was "Hold Me, Touch Me." Unfortunately,
Yeah, and this was another. It wasn't hard at all because that of all the ones was the single. I'm baffled that it was not "Tonight You Belong to Me." It should have been, and that's what I went with.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Had that have been the single, do you think they would have edited out the whole intro?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
Still,
kind of
the
like
song's not too long,
yeah,
which is good. So they may have left it, but yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all.
kind of like with Radioactive, they cut out that whole beginning thing and it just goes straight to the when the song kicks in.
Right.
I can almost picture them doing that with that song. I went with "Wouldn't You Like to Know Me."
Yep.
Another good straightforward rocker. I think that one would have done well too. Um, would have been a great song to hear on the radio stations. I'm loving all the "I Stole Your Love" that we're getting.
Yeah.
That's a lot of loves. So "You Belong to Me" as well from Javier.
Very nice.
All right, so now we get back to the regular studio albums here. We have Dynasty. We had "I Was Made for Loving You" and "Sure Knows Something" as the singles from this one.
And those are definitely good choices. I think that
Mm-hmm.
was the right move and in the right order. Um, as far as kind of continuing that feel for singles, and also because I hadn't had one for a while, I went with "Dirty Living."
There you go.
I feel like that's a very good representation of Peter at that point, playing in the same style as the rest of the stuff in Dynasty. I think people would have enjoyed hearing another Peter song at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. I went with "X-Ray Eyes."
Nice.
Mainly just to kind of follow on the heels of "I Was Made," because it still kind of has, a bit of a dancey groove to it. I'm sure people could have, everybody was coked out back then. They could figure out how to dance to anything pretty much. So,
Yeah.
so I'm sure they definitely could have gotten down to that song. And plus, it's just got that cool, the chorus and the harmony on it and everything. It just again just feels like it was made to be a single. But when you got an album full of pretty much all hits, it's hard to make the whole thing a single. It's
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah. Heavier went with "Magic Touch." I almost did that.
Oh yeah,
Almost did that. And Aaron went with "Charisma."
that's the one I was real close to picking, but I just felt like "X-Ray Eyes" would have a better feel for a single.
Right.
Probably perform better, but yeah, Charisma is a great one too. Unmasked, we have Shandy, Talk to Me, and Tomorrow.
Very nice. Yeah, that makes sense. David Smith with Man of 1,000 Faces. I'll type that in real quick. Oops, not 100 Faces. This one was difficult, and honestly, I almost changed it after I had typed it because I spotted one that I can't believe I missed. Honestly, just seeing Talk to Me pissed me off so bad that I went with Two Sides of the Coin because I feel like it's so much of a better Ace song. And again, it's really catchy. It's a good mean between the kind of poppy disco-y stuff and the rock side of Unmasked as well.
Absolutely. My pick was She's So European.
Nice.
I mean, they practically made this an unofficial single because they had it was basically a video for it, and
Right.
that's always been kind of promoted as an official music video. So to me, it's almost like it is a single, but yet not recognized. Naked City, yeah, totally, Javier. I obviously wanted to go with that one because we've discussed that, but I don't know. I just felt She's So European was, again, kind of the same thing with the last album. I felt like it would be a better representation, but, you're definitely not wrong. Naked City is a fantastic choice.
And that is also what Aaron went with, and it was that when I saw Aaron had put Naked City, I was like, oh, how did I not do that one?
Now we go to Music from the Elder. We had A World Without Heroes, and then in Japan only, they had The Oath. So that is technically an official single.
Indeed. And what a stupid choice to only do that in Japan. I think that is hands down, mostly agreeable, the best song on that album, and it should have been the lead single everywhere. Other than that, I do think World Without Heroes and I are good choices.
Oh, yeah.
Made this one a little bit more difficult to pick because, the other songs are good, but I don't feel like they represent the whole as well as those three. I did go with Under the Rose. This one was more along the lines of just me kind of picking the one that I like the best. Again, I kind of feel like the singles they picked were good. They made sense if they had done The Oath everywhere and first.
Right. Absolutely. I ended up going with Odyssey. I figured let's get a Paul, epic type vocal thing out there to really, really showcase his ability, because I feel like most of these singles before this, kind of the usual stuff, but not really showing his true vocal capabilities, as I feel like Odyssey does. David Smith with Sugar Papa Likes, also very
Nice.
cool. Only You by Javier. David agrees with Luke.
Nice. And Only You from Aaron as well.
Very cool. You know what? I know it's not on the list, but let's just throw it in real quick. Out of the 4 songs on Killers, what would you say should have been the lead single?
Ooh. Oh, man. I would say I'm a Legend tonight, I think.
Legend?
Yeah.
I got to lean towards Nowhere to Run.
Yeah, it's definitely between those two.
Yeah. It's definitely got to be a Paul song. Creatures of the Night. We have... Oh, darn, he's gone again. There we go. All right.
There we go.
All right. So, Creatures of the Night, we have I Love It Loud, Killer, which is pretty shocking, kind of, and Creatures of the Night.
Nice. Oh, man, was this one a doozy, because I like so many songs. Saint and Sinner I thought would be good. Danger, yeah. I've always loved the song Danger. But come on, War Machine. I
Oh
went
my God, yeah,
I went with War Machine. How could they make Killer a single and not War Machine? What the
yeah,
heck?
yeah. Especially if you're trying to tell your fan base, like, look, we're back. We're back
Yeah,
to our what you wanted us to sound like.
right. War Machine, the clear choice.
I ended up going with Rock and Roll Hell. I agree. War Machine, I think, would have been the better choice now that I do think about it. But Rock and Roll Hell just kind of popped out to me, just more for the, I don't know, I guess the catchiness, and it could have been one of those just kind of, maybe it would have hung on the charts for a few weeks and had a couple weeks of success because of the catchiness and the hook, and then maybe they would have finally performed it live. That would have been nice, but
Yeah.
yeah, Javier Saint Center. That's the one I wanted to go with too. I mean, again, like you said, so many good songs on this album. The whole thing,
Yeah,
is great. So, all right, Lick It Up. We have the title track, Lick It Up, and All Hell's Breaking Loose.
kind of surprising there. I did argue with myself a lot on this one, back and forth, but eventually I went with Exciter. Again, I just feel like it would have been hearing that one on the radio to me if I had skipped Creatures of the Night, like a lot of people did at the time. Uh, if I had heard Exciter on the radio, I would have been like, "Oh crap, Kiss is back."
Yeah,
The name is perfect for the song. That the song is exciting. It's upbeat. It's catchy. And it gets you excited to hear the rest. So I think Lick It Up is a good choice, but it's also a little bit slow and plotty. So Exciter would have been kind of that other side, jumping into the more exciting side.
Could you imagine if they done like a video for that and had Rick Derringer in it with them?
Oh man,
doing the solo.
that would have been pretty funny.
Javier, Not for the Innocent, great choice.
Nice.
I went with one of probably about my favorite on the album, of course, Fits Like a Glove.
Yep.
I mean, come on, it's such a great song. It would have been, I think that would have been a great radio song, and they performed it so much anyway that why not? It should have been.
Yep, that's the one I almost went with.
Even if they had just pulled off maybe the live version from Animalize Uncensored and made that a single or something, that might have worked too. So hard to say.
Yeah.
Animalize. We have Heaven's on Fire and Thrills in the Night. Again, just so many missed with these.
You're right. Yeah, I can't believe they didn't do at least 3 from some of these 80s albums. Those two do, I think, make the most sense, and they sum up the album really well. I went with I've Had Enough, Into the Fire. Again, pretty much the same reasoning as Exciter. I think it's exciting. It jumps up. It catches you. It's got catchy parts. It's got a cool solo. It's got an interesting bridge. I think that would have been a good one to catch people over.
Yeah. I went with Under the Gun. Again, kind of for the reason that I've always considered that Paul's answer to Fits. And you know what? For that matter, make it an A and B side. Fits on one side, Under the Gun on the other. I think that would have been cool. Kind of a later promotion for both albums.
Yeah.
And either way. But Under the Gun, just another great heavy rocker, and I think it would have done very well on the station with a lot of that stuff that was being played at the time.
For sure. I just realized I've been forgetting. Aaron went with War Machine on Creatures, and on the 8th day for Lick It Up.
Oh.
And then I've Had Enough on Animalize.
Very cool. Javier's also I've Had Enough.
Nice.
Torpedo Girl from David on Unmasked. Very cool.
Nice. Yes. And I did get your Parasite finally. I don't know. I noticed, David, you said 3rd time Parasite. I wonder if we haven't been getting some of your comments or something. That's kind of weird. But we got it. We got it. You are up to, I just put in Torpedo Girl just now. So sweet.
Yeah, sorry about that, David. We didn't mean to keep harping you for that Hotter Than Hell. It just didn't pop up for some reason. But yeah.
Yeah.
Got you now. Asylum, and again, surprisingly, only one single from this album, and it's Tears Are Falling.
Which makes sense. I get it. But, man, whoever didn't make Who Wants to Be Lonely a single ought to be shot.
And again, we had the videos. We literally had a video for that all night. So how are those not singles either? I don't understand the thought back then.
Yeah, not even a little. If they weren't playing Who Wants to Be Lonely on the radio, that was a huge missed opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, what was the thought back then? Were they testing how well the video got, how much play it got, or I don't know if, watched, how many people watched it or feedback, and then they would put it out as an official single? Was that some of the train of thought back then? Because it doesn't make sense.
No.
I went with Secretly Cruel. Just again, another good straight rocker, another Gene song. So figured why not get one in there.
Yeah, that would have been the one Gene song. Aaron went with Trial by Fire.
Ooh,
good.
Who Wants to Be Lonely from Javier? There you go.
Very nice.
Crazy Nights. We've got a few off of this one. Crazy Nights, Reason to Live, Turn on the Night.
Yep, and those make sense. I feel like they went a little bit too hard on the gushy in the singles, though. Both Reason to Live and Turn on the Night are kind of gushy. Very happy to see that My Way was not a single.
Oh my God, yeah.
So
bang you.
Oh jeez. Oh man. So actually, both Aaron and I went with "I'll Fight Hell to Hold You," another strong Paul song that represents the more rock side of the album, closer to Crazy Nights, and also I think it's a little bit more rock and metal-y even than Crazy Nights. So I feel like we needed a good representation of that side of the album.
Yeah, I also went with that song.
Nice.
So yeah, I totally agree. Great representation. Great, Paul performance on the vocals again. Everything about it. So
yeah.
Hell or High Water from Javier.
Nice.
And by the way, I did make an asterisk for this one. I said it should have been Sword and Stone. That's the single that.
God, yeah. Time Traveler and Sword and Stone both should have been on that album, and they both should have been singles.
Yeah,
that's a crime. So,
in my fantasy world, Sword and Stone is the damn single.
Yes.
Hot in the Shade, we have Hide Your Heart, Forever, and Rise to It. Everyone's favorite video.
Right. And again, I feel like this time those were good choices to represent the album, especially Forever. Yeah. I would have probably kicked something over in this room if Forever hadn't been a single.
I'd have probably let off with Forever, to be honest, but
yeah, totally agreed. So this one was a little bit more difficult for me because there's a lot of songs on here that I really like Boomerang and Prisoner of Love and stuff that I don't necessarily feel like would have been that good. Mm-hmm. But I did feel like it needed to be a Gene song, so I went with Betrayed.
Oh, that's a good one. Javier also with Betrayed. I went with Little Caesar. I was like, damn it, let's get Eric a single. If that's the one and only that he's going to get in his whole career and time with Kiss, then damn it, let's make it Little Caesar. It's a hell of a song. Just great vocal performance from him. So yeah, Little Caesar.
Yeah,
give Eric his due.
And Aaron went with Read My Body.
I could see that working though, especially in that time frame with Poison and all those kind of bands that were doing those kind of songs, and
it is catchy. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't mind watching some strippers dancing to it or something. But
there you go, absolutely.
That's about the only thing I wouldn't want to see Kiss perform it. But
right. How many cowbells they have to set up on Eric Carr's
Revenge. Man, this one's similar to Destroyer. We got a lot of singles off of this one. God Gave Rock and Roll to You Too, Unholy, Domino, I Just Wanna, and Every Time I Look at You.
Nice. And again, those made a lot of sense for this. I was really tempted to put Take It Off, but I kind of feel like they would have had trouble getting that one radio play just because
Yeah.
of the subject matter. So I feel like song wise, that's the strongest one that wasn't always or already a single. But I ended up going with Heart of Chrome just
Mm.
for the essentially for the lyrical content. I feel like Take It Off would have radio stations may have not played that one.
I was a bit surprised again. I guess more like I had forgotten again. But when I saw Domino, I was like, "Wow, Domino was a single, duh!" So I was like, "Yeah, there is a video and all that."
Right.
So that was good to see. But I did end up going with "Take It Off," though. Great song to see some girls dance to, and that I can't remember how many years apart this and girls were, but there you go, kind of that same vein there. And I know girls gets airplay, or especially now it does. I'm not sure how much it did back then, but I think they could have rivaled each other, and would definitely just love to see some stripping going on to that. All right, Carnival Souls. Believe it or not, there was a single from this, Jungle. That was it.
Which now that one I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that.
Yeah.
I like Jungle a lot, and I think it's one of the strongest choruses on the album. But that ending, what I don't understand why they thought that would get good radio play with the just repeating over and over. And then I argued with myself for a long time about what, because I thought about going with Hate. Hate is a really strong song and a strong opener. I've always felt like Childhood's End was a single. It's always seemed weird to me that one wasn't. It feels like a single. But I ended up going with Master and Slave. I feel like that's one of the strongest songs on the entire album. It's got that mass appeal. It's very indicative of the rest of the album, and that chorus is really catchy.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious why they went with Jungle as well, and it kind of makes you wonder why they even bother picking a single in the first place. I mean, if they really weren't planning on doing anything with the album anyway, why bother?
Right.
Hell, we didn't even get a video out of it. It would have been cool if we at least had a music video from this album. Would have been nice to have.
Right.
But yeah, I'm right there with you again. I went with Master and Slave as well. It's just got that perfect, like, commercial type rock sound. Not in a bad way. But it's just that for the time and what you were hearing on the radio at that time, it would have fit so perfect. And it's just such a good rocker.
Yeah.
All right, Psycho Circus. We have Psycho Circus. We Are One. Believe it or not, I finally found my way. And you wanted the best. So there goes my pick. Finally found me one.
Yeah. Oh, they had to have been hoping to recreate Beth. I mean, geez, why that one?
And what would have the B-side been for that if there even technically was? I know at this point it was more CD singles, so it wasn't really a such thing as a B-side per se, but still, good Lord. Well, just a second here. Hate, that's a great choice there, Javier. Yep. Heart of Chrome from Revenge. Yep.
Nice. Yes,
Raise
and
your glasses,
oh yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I realized I've been forgetting to say Aaron's again too. He also went with Heart of Chrome on Revenge, and then for Carnival he went with It Never Goes Away.
Wow, that's one of them songs I couldn't even tell you how it goes. If you ask me to right now.
Yeah. It's got a really strong vocal performance from Paul. I could have seen that doing well. I kind of mirrored Javier here. I went with Pledge Allegiance to the State of Rock and Roll, and I really, really thought about going Raise Your Glasses. I feel like both of those songs are really catchy, especially Raise Your Glasses, and again, they're indicative of the rest of the album. I almost went with Within as well, because it's one of my favorites from the album, but I do not feel like that song is even a little bit indicative of the rest.
Right.
So would it have done well? Yeah. Does it sum up the album? Nah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I ended up going with Into the Void, though. I figured, okay, this is kind of a makeup for never having Shock Me as a single, in the real world. Give Ace his due. hey, I finally found my way was a single, so why shouldn't Ace have one too? And then the other two songs are what I believe Paul's songs, but Gene's just a bigger part of them, of course. But Into the Void, why not? It would have been a great song to hear. Matter of fact, I believe it did get technical radio play because I remember I think they did like a Rockline thing, that show that used to be on the radio back in the day where they interviewed them and they were playing basically every song from the album. And when Into the Void came on, it just sounded so good over the radio. Just something about it.
Nice. Yeah, and it's one of Ace's really strong songs too.
Yes, it is.
Aaron went with Journey of 1,000 Years, surprisingly.
Wow, my God, wow.
yeah.
And of course, my other pick had been and technically it wasn't because it obviously wasn't on the official album, but In Your Face probably would have been, or even It's My Life for that matter.
Right. But I think I am going to go pee real quick. I almost peed my pants just there.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Give me just a sec.
No problem. All-time favorite from Asylum, Who Wants to Be Lonely, David. That very, very interesting. I've always had a love-hate relationship with that song. It's a great song, don't get me wrong, but it's just one of those that I never really go to, you know what I mean? Like, I don't ever feel like putting that song on, but, if I'm listening to the album or something, I'll definitely let it play. It's definitely not a skippable song. There's no skippable songs, really, for me, in the Kiss catalog. Betrayed, another great one. Oh, yeah. So, we just got a couple more albums here to finish up, and then we'll wrap this thing up. We appreciate you guys coming in with us, man. I know it's been a few weeks, so I'm sure everybody didn't think that we were going to be on, so that's probably why we don't have as many viewers this week, but, hopefully we'll get back to that soon. But we definitely appreciate David and Javier showing up, man. We appreciate you guys. All right, so just a couple more albums left here, of course. Sonic Boom up next. We have Modern Day Delilah, Say Yeah, and Never Enough.
Mostly makes sense, I think.
Mm-hmm.
This was another one that I had a lot of difficulty with because I do like a lot of the songs on this album. Really considered Russian Roulette, really considered Hot and Cold. Naturally, I really consider Dangerous. I know I seem to be alone in the world for liking that song. But eventually, I feel like it had to be I'm an Animal from this one. We need that strong Gene song. We needed that kind of God of Thunder comeback, and I'm an Animal definitely accomplishes that.
There you go. Well, that's the one I picked too. Like I say, I've been backing that song for a long time now, and like you said, it's got that everything perfect about a Gene song to it. It is a nice return of sorts, to the true Demon character in that song that it felt like we were missing probably since Within. I think your audio cut out again for some reason. There you are. Javier, okay. Russian Roulette. Cool.
Very nice. And Thou Shalt Not from David
All
Smith.
Right, so rounding this thing out, of course, is Monster. We have Hell or Hallelujah and Long Way Down.
Sure. At least Hell or Hallelujah, at least they had the sense of mind to put essentially one of the only good songs from that album as the single. Long Way Down, whatever. On this one, this one was easy for me because I don't care for most of the songs on this album. I thought about Shout Mercy because I like that song, and I like Eat Your Heart Out, but I don't know that it would have done that well on radio, so I had to go with Out of This World.
Very good choice. My choice as well.
Nice. Yes.
As
Would've been
I've
good.
said, in my opinion, best song on the album, Out of This World.
Yeah.
And you know, getting Tommy a single in there. Unfortunately, we didn't get one for Eric, but hey, he's definitely on a lot of these singles, so he's at least part of it.
For
But
sure.
yeah, Out of This World, fantastic song. Javier chooses Freak, very nice.
Yep. That Aaron did as well. Actually, Aaron chose All for the Glory for Sonic Boom.
Oh well, there you go.
So yeah, he actually he put a note on his Facebook post for this. He thought that All for the Glory should have been the single. He had that in capitals.
Wow. I could see that, but you know, Delilah's a little bit stronger, but you know, maybe a good follow up single at least. Yeah, we'll give it that much.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yes. Yes, we get a few more in from David Smith, and we got ourselves a list.
All right.
I'm kind of curious if there were any albums that didn't have a most popular pick. I'm sure there were a few.
I think Love Gun was one. For Stole Your Love.
Right. Yeah, most of these. So the first album, Deuce, had 3 votes. Parasite had 2 for Hotter Than Hell. Love Her All I Can had 2. Do You Love Me had 3. Looks like Take Me has 2. I Stole Your Love was everybody but Aaron. Rip It Out had 2. See You Tonight has 2. Tonight You Belong to Me has 2. That's the Kind of Sugar Papa likes. Okay, everybody picked a different song on Dynasty.
Wow.
So we've got, just about the whole album there. Naked City has 2 on Unmasked. Only You has 3 for The Elder. War Machine has 2.
Yeah, I just realized what happened to Space Ace Ron. He hadn't been chiming in.
Yeah.
We lost Space Ace Ron.
We all picked different songs on Lick It Up. Looks like I've Had Enough has 3 on Animalize. Who Wants to Be Lonely has 3 on Asylum. I'll Fight Hell to Hold You has 3 for Crazy Nights. Betrayed has 3 on Hot in the Shade. Heart of Chrome has 3 on Revenge.
Wow.
Looks like Master and Slave for Carnival has 2. Pledge of Allegiance has 2. And then don't know about Sonic Boom and Monster yet, just waiting on David Smith. But at the moment, I'm an Animal and it has 2. And then actually Out of This World and Freak are tied. So it kind of depends on what David Smith says on those 2. And anybody else that's in the chat, don't be afraid to throw that in there. Anybody who's watching this video, if it's not live and you're watching it later, throw your votes in the comments. We'll put them in here. We want to get as much stuff as possible.
Absolutely. All right. So for the meantime, that wraps it up. Then that was pretty cool. Hopefully we'll get some more input from some more people. I understand, since we were gone 2 weeks, that's probably why we didn't have too many viewers today. People probably weren't sure if we were back or going to be back. So,
right.
But unfortunately, we are going to be gone again next week. Again, not only is it my birthday, which I was hoping to do a birthday show, but I've got a gig that night with the tribute band. So unfortunately, we're going to be skipping the show next week. But we will be back the following week, if at least that's the plan right now. God forbid.
Yep.
So,
Yes. And there will still be polls next week, too.
yeah. So you can still count on some polls to get caught back up on those next week. Just no show. We'll, of course, as always, we'll be sure to make that announcement once we are back and what the topic will be for the following week. So that wraps it up. Again, thank you guys for stopping in and catching back up with us and chiming in the chat here. David, if you got a chance to maybe type those last two songs real quick before we get out of here, we'll be glad to do that.
For sure. You're going to go live from your phone on that Sweet Pain show next week, right? That'll be the show next week.
It'll be me getting spanked for my birthday and
yes.
Some big old like stripper or something dancing on me. Well,
I've often wondered if
there we go, Dangerous.
There we go. I guess I'm not alone in the world. I'm kind of curious, David, where you're at in the world, where you watch from, because I've often suspected that you're seeing things a lot later than we're actually saying them. I'm kind of curious if it takes, if you're somewhere where the live video is just lagging behind a little bit. So that does put I'm an Animal as the most popular pick for Sonic Boom.
Very cool. Just waiting on your pick for Monster there, David. We're going to hang on here until we get that from you before we get off the live.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you know what? There was one more thing I forgot about at the beginning. We did get Steve and Rochelle McGowan's picks for Anomaly.
Yes.
Which was the last episode from a few weeks ago.
Yeah, we had forgot that's what we did a few weeks ago.
Yeah. So very much appreciated the two of them. Oh, there we go.
Shout mercy. Thanks, man.
Nice. Yes. So that does mean Out of This World and Freak still kind of tied there, but that is totally fine. Good to have a lot of options. There we go. So just real quick, Steve's top three on Anomaly were Foxy and Free, Genghis Khan, and Outer Space. And then Rochelle's top three were Sister, Foxy and Free, and Fractured Quantum. And that did actually shake up our top four. Oh, I'm about to get kicked, I think. Okay. And that, yeah, like I said, that shook up our top. Actually, it shook up the top five. So in fifth place now is Outer Space. In fourth place, Fox on the Run. In third place, Genghis Khan, which is a big jump. Genghis Khan was not even in the top four.
Wow.
Before. And then in second place, Foxy and Free. And then remaining in first place, Fractured Quantum.
Very cool. I mean, you'd figure like Outer Space would have been kind of the default number one because that was kind of the single and probably the song everyone knew the most. But very cool, man. You guys are killing it. So a lot of unexpected results with these, and that's what we love. Right. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Yeah, we got them all, Dave. It looks like you're maybe a couple minutes behind or something, but Yeah, we do see them, and we've got all of your picks in. Thank you for that.
Yes.
Um, where are you located, if you don't mind us asking? But Luke's Internet brought to you by the local sewage company this week.
Yeah, you ain't kidding.
So anyway, yeah, good to see some changes. That's that's why we love this. You guys making some unexpected changes to these rankings and everything, and that's what we love to see. Not the usual run of the mill type deal. So all right, we're gonna get ready to wrap this up. Hopefully, David will chime in before we get off of here, and if not, no problem. We'll get you next time. So again, we apologize, but no show again next week. We'll make a post, and we'll be back the following week, hopefully, and we'll have another idea, and we'll be posting that to the Facebook group. Be on the lookout for it. So we'll see you here in a couple weeks. Everyone, enjoy your Halloween. Be safe out there, and eat all your kids' candy once you get it. I know I will.
Definitely.
And so, all right, everybody. Thanks a lot. Take care. See you here in a couple weeks.